Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of OS Pro Interviews. Today will be a bit of a change for an episode because today we will not be joined by a top player. I'm sure you all saw the title. Today we'll be interviewing the well-known mapper Sotarks. The reason for our decision to interview a mapper over a top player is because he has recently spiked up as the mapper with the most played maps, and because of this we found it to be a good idea to bring him onto the show to see what he thinks of the community and how everything is seen from a mapper's perspective. Thanks to Novic for editing this video, and onto the interview. Alright, hello everybody. So like I just said, today we're going to be joined by Sotarks. So Sotarks, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sotarks. I'm Tristan in real life. I'm 24 years old and I live in France.
So, Sotarks then, or Tristan, whatever you want me to call you. What did you do before OSU?
Sotarks is fine.
Okay.
What did I do before OSU? Basically I was playing a lot of MMORPGs and FPS such as Call of Duty. I like a lot of playing multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm. What got you into OSU?
That's actually a funny story. Back in like early 2014, I had that friend at school who played a lot of OSU, but I always made fun of him because I wasn't really that much into anime and stuff. And then he installed it for some reason on my PC, and I started playing it. And I didn't really assume that I liked it, but I kind of liked it and got really into the songs and started watching a lot of anime.
Right.
You know, it's like a drug or something. So yeah, I tried. I played OSU since that.
That's pretty cool. Wait, so was he like over at your house, or like how did that go?
He was playing at his house, but I had like this party and like later he installed like OSU on my computer, like to show me something, and then it was still on my computer and I played it. That's all.
And then you ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
Is that what got you into anime as well?
Yeah, exactly. I was watching a little bit of anime as well before, but since that I watched like way more anime. Like in 2 years I watched like 200 animes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely there. So, do you still watch anime to this day then?
Not really, not that much. I'm following like the old ones I used to watch if there's like a season 2 or season 3, but I don't watch that much anymore.
Yeah. Still cool though. You've got a lot of experience with that. So, out of OSU, what do you usually find yourself doing?
Well, basically, I'm pretty busy because I'm starting like a master's degree now in game design. I want to be like a game developer, game designer in the future. As some people know, I released like some games with my friends, like Atma, that is available on Steam, and yeah, so it's like my last 2 years in that school to become a game designer. So most of the time I work.
What motivated you to become a game designer?
Because since I'm really young, I enjoyed video games. I really enjoyed video games, and then by growing up, I really got interested into like how do you make actual video games, how to improve them, questioning myself about all the systems that makes a video game, and yeah. So that's why I wanted to be a game designer.
That's pretty cool. So, what games do you play besides of OSU, and if that's any at all?
Right now, I really play a lot of Beat Saber because I really got into. I really love rhythm games and VR recently, and Beat Saber is just like the masterpiece game that I've ever played, and I have so much fun playing Beat Saber. Not comparing OSU and Beat Saber, by the way, because I had my time playing OSU, even though I don't play it anymore and I just map. But Beat Saber is just like so much fun, and I just enjoy myself playing it. And it's really good. It's really good for your health as well, because you're
exercising.
You're getting tired. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Yeah, it gets tiring quickly though. I play it from time to time as well, and it gets me really tired. But it's fun. I like how you have, an alternative now.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure many of the people wondering might have this question, and although some might know the answer, I'm sure that many people still don't know. So, why did you choose the name Sotarks?
Oh, well, I think I replied to this question on stream multiple times, but let's clarify it. So back in the days, well, even still now, my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, is God of War. And God of War's main character's name is Kratos, and if you spell it backwards, if it's Sotark without the S at the end. And then when I was playing that random MMORPG, Sotark was already taken, so I added a S at the end, and I was like, damn, that's pretty cool with an S at the end, and I kept Sotarks.
And ever since then, he's been multiple
Yeah.
Kratos.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
So,
dude. That's pretty cool, honestly. That's a very unique story for a name. So,
yeah.
more so focusing these questions about your Osu career. When did you start playing Osu?
Well, to follow up the story, or that when I started playing Osu, it was like in early 2014 when I was playing like a little bit, and then when I stopped school, because like I had like some studies issues that I didn't really like what I was doing when I finished school, and I did literally nothing but playing Osu and watching anime in an entire year, so before
yeah.
starting my real studies. So yeah, that's what I'm into Osu that much.
Right.
So it was early 2014.
That's cool. So why did you decide to switch to mapping?
Oh, well, when I wasn't like a casual player anymore, like I got a decent rank, and I kind of know about this whole mapping thing, and started to have my favorite mapper. I had this random guy. I don't know if you know him, like Mastrada.
Yeah.
This guy, he was kind of famous back in the days in 2015, 2016. And I was like, damn, this guy is really cool. I really enjoy his maps, and I really like music as well. I like music, and I wish I could do the same. So yeah, Mostrada actually made me map, and that's pretty it. And I tried since then.
That's pretty cool that you actually had somebody else motivate you to map.
Yeah.
So what are the things that, as of like today and even back then, motivated you or motivate you now to keep on mapping?
Well, my motivation really depends at what time, what current era I was mapping, because back in the days, my motivation was like to map, like, take an example, all the Fana songs, because I wanted to be the Fana guy, or improving my mapping, like getting my own mapping style, because I was still trying to like find myself, you know. But now mostly, like, to be completely honest, I really have like a hard time finding motivation to map. And the only thing that, well, most of the thing that keeps me mapping is like I have a community behind me that supports me and like what I'm doing. I have my popularity also that makes me like keeps me like motivated to map, and also like commissions as well that I never like thought that could ever happen. That we can maybe talk about that later, but. But yeah, motivation really depends, and yeah.
I'll make sure to bring that up then. Do you also play the game sometimes, like besides from mapping?
Well, I stopped playing the game, like actually actively playing the game, like farming, or even though I didn't actually farm, but I started really playing in 2017, I think, and then like. When I play right now, it's just like, oh, there's this really good map from that really good mapper I want to play, and or test playing my own maps, but I don't really play that much anymore on Osu. When I want to play a rhythm game, I just play Beat Saber.
Right. So in Osu specifically, what would you say is your favorite thing about Osu?
That's a tough one. There's a lot of things I like about this game. Mainly, I'd say because it's a community-driven game. Like, I really love this community. For me, it's not just a community; it's like a big family. You know, like everyone can be themselves here. Everyone can talk to everyone, and we are building this game together. Even though we have like Peppy and the developers to support to do it as well, but without the community, this game is nothing. And I really like everything that the community does for the game.
That's actually
That's
a nice answer, actually. So, in contrast to that question, what is your least favorite thing about Osu?
Well, when you have a community, you always have the bad parts of the community. One thing I really noticed about this community is like people like to repeat what they hear without really understanding about what they hear, you know?
Right.
Like they will say, like, to take an example of mappers, for example, like, oh, this map sucks, and then people will just repeat it because some cool guy said the same thing, and if he says that he likes the map, then he's gonna get hated. So there's a lot of repetition and following up in this community that I find pretty bad.
Right. Yeah, it tends to happen in a lot of communities, and I feel like part of that is also because like a lot of the Osu community is so young. There's also that immaturity aspect of it, you know. So
Yeah, but I think since this community is like a family and everyone can be themselves, that you don't have to agree with people on specific topic because you're gonna be the cool guy, or because if you don't agree, then everyone's gonna hate you. I think you can have your own opinions, or maybe if you don't want to be part of any drama or something, you can just take back and like, sit back and watch it or whatever, you know, get your own opinions from yourself and not from someone else.
right. I think that's definitely true. Just because somebody doesn't like something or does like something doesn't mean that people should just train ride it. I mean,
exactly.
we're all different. None of us are the same. So I feel like that goes pretty big into that. So now this is going to be a pretty big question, and I know that many people probably ask you all the time, but what are your opinions on the current PP system?
Oh. Well, the current PP system, you guys must know, it will never be perfect. Like, it's like it creates meta, and PP system, if you change something, but then something else is gonna be buffed and something else is gonna be nerfed, then people's gonna map the thing that got buffed and not the thing that got nerfed. So it's like any multiplayer games, you can't get the perfect system that will fit your ranking. And let's take League of Legends for example. Like there's always patches, always champions that get buffed, that get nerfed, and people are playing the OP champions because they want to climb. It's the same thing, even though it's not the same kind of game, but it works with all the multiplayer games. If you have rankings, then you have meta, and meta can't get fixed because you can't have a perfect system.
There's no such thing as it's almost completely impossible to have no meta inside of a multiplayer game that's rank based.
Exactly.
Because it's just like that's something. This is something I've stated in other interview videos. If you buff the space streams, then people are gonna play the space streams and not the jump maps. If you buff the jumps, people are gonna play jumps and not the stream maps. If you nerf either, and if you nerf both, you have an angry community. But if you both
and people will stop playing or whatsoever. Like
exactly.
You know, there's that thing that when there's a bad thing about something, you're gonna know about this thing more than good things.
That's right.
So that's pretty it. Like, and the PP system for me, it's not bad. It's just like, even though I didn't like abuse it or using it to like make these PP farm maps, someone else would do it, and like it's made like this. So, and people like ranking up like that. So I don't find any problem with it.
Yeah, like if it's in the game, why is it an issue? So
I do think like it should have like some buff on other things rather than nerfs. Like I think it could be cool like to buff like slider velocity, super slider velocity sliders, or like really dense rhythm, wide angles. So more maps can actually give PP and not just like sharp angles maps with super high spacing jumps. whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely true. I mean, obviously there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of opportunities and stuff for mapping, honestly. I feel like, it's
Hmm.
but like I said, there's never going to be a perfect and that's just kind of how it's going to be. I mean, there can be changes, but
Yeah, exactly.
nothing's ever going to be exactly 100% fitting to everybody, What are your opinions on the current mapping meta specifically?
Well, just like I said, like since the PP system create meta, I don't have really any opinions on the mapping meta because like I love mapping jumps and jumps will always be meta. Even any kind of jumps. I like mapping wide angle jumps. I like sharp angle jumps. I like doing both at the same time. So for me, any meta will be fine. I just the only thing I really dislike mapping is like super like technical stuff like super fast slider velocity.
Like pro
Even
box
streams,
stuff?
I get yeah, not just Probox. He's not the only.
Yeah, but he's just kind of
Yeah,
known
but
for
like
being that guy.
yeah, exactly. But like most of these maps, I don't have anything against these maps, but it's just like not my type of map.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess the meta is fine at its states.
The best thing is just do what you enjoy. So
Yeah, exactly.
so
Even with players, not only with mappers, you're here to enjoy yourself. You don't have to play any specific map.
yeah, exactly. It's a
You
game, not a
if you don't
job.
want to. Exactly. Like
You shouldn't be
just
like
enjoy it.
forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy. Like if you don't enjoy farming, don't farm. If you do enjoy farming, then farm. It's up to you completely,
Exactly.
So, what are some of your best accomplishments in the mapping community?
For me, it's like the most important for me is like bringing like a lot of different maps, a lot of content, and having like this title of the guy who is the most active, who ranked the most map since the beginning of Osu in 1 year. It's for me, it's a big accomplishment. And having like in 3 years ranking 170 maps for me, it's kind of a big thing. I know a lot of people call me a lazy mapper, but for me, it's something having all these maps. Even though I worked with a lot of GDers, and I love working with all my GDers. Most of people know who they are, and I just love working with them and rather than being alone. So yeah, for me it's a big accomplishment having all these maps ranked.
Right. Yeah, it is definitely very impressive, honestly. It gives people a lot of, variety of what they can play. So
Yeah.
And obviously still keeping your style through all of it, so what are some of your favorite memories from being involved in the game, and whether that be mapping or just the game in itself?
My favorite memories? I'd say my first 200 PP. It was pretty cool. Also the fact I become beatmap nominator, I really loved that. For me, it was great memories. Being a beatmap nominator was for me insane because I was helping people to rank their maps, and getting into modding maps is really cool, and I really like that. To be honest, I don't have actual favorite memories. For me, this game is a good memory, a good part of my life that I will never forget. Even though I'm gone from the game, I will. For me, the game is like a great memory.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing.
Honestly, I'm sure when I'm like way into the future, years and years after I've left this game, I'm still gonna be in contact with a lot of the people I've met in this game. It's just
Yeah, exactly. I met so many cool people, so many friends here, and yeah, I will never forget anything here.
Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of Osu. It's like it's an entire family,
Exactly.
Very broken family, but it's a family.
Yeah.
Which a lot of games can't really have. So, who are some of your mapping idols? And I mean, even outside of mapping, it could be even a player if you'd like to choose. But just who are some of your idols?
my idols will be like more mappers here
Yeah.
because and my main idol was because he got me into mapping, and it's Monstrata, and it's because of him I got into mapping. But now I have like more about favorite mappers, and which I take my most of my influence from, like Okoratu, Apple Leader X, Rizia, Kalibe, Milan, Kagetsu, Lamy, and Taeyang.
They are all pretty.
So
They're pretty cool mappers.
so yeah.
Being able to interact with them all is pretty awesome as well. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, what are some of your thoughts on the new mapping features that are being featured inside of OS Laser?
Oh, that's really interesting. When I was at OSU event, I talked a lot with Pepe about these mapping features and all the thing that will have into the game, and what pops off is like all these new mods, like these new kind of mods that the OSU Laser has. For me, if it's actually implemented into the PP system, then we can have like different kind of mapping style that can emphasize these mods, and so we can have different kind of gameplay, or these new object as well that Pepe talked about, that can also like be cool and having like new kinds of maps. I don't really know what they want to actually do about it, but I'm really looking forward into like new kinds of gameplay Osu can have, so people will have some brand new stuff to play when Laser comes out. And I guess all the mappers and even myself, if I'm still here at that time, we'll try out some new mapping style, or even keeping my same mapping style but with like some new fresh stuff with the new feature of Osu Laser. Can't wait to happen.
I feel like it's definitely gonna be pretty cool. And I mean, like you said, with all the different mod variations and stuff, we're gonna definitely be seeing a lot more like, you know, opportunities for different types of, you know, like uses of the PP system in like whatever way. And I mean, it's gonna be pretty cool to see, because everybody's gonna be able to play what they want to play and not being forced to, you know, any type of meta, because there can actually be multiple metas in that sense.
Yeah, I hope so.
So that would be pretty cool. So how far into the future do you see yourself being involved with this game, and why?
That's a really tough question. For me, I think my last month of activity is this month, September, actually. Because in October, I will start my 2 years master's degrees. And when I finish my master degrees, I will start getting a job, and I want probably to move country, and I really don't know what I want to do yet, so I will focus more on my work rather than Osu, of course. But I will still be around. When I mean around is like still chatting with my friends that I met on Osu, like maybe release a map from time to time if there's like a new Fana song or something, or I don't know, but still be there, but not there. You know what I mean?
The activity's obviously gonna go low.
Yeah, it's gonna drop. Yeah, exactly. But I will still be around, but I will not be completely dead.
Yeah, I mean that's good. As long as you're like, you know, still there.
I hope. Yeah, I hope.
For sure. But I wish you luck with that, honestly, because I mean that could turn out really well for you. And
I hope, yeah. And the thing is, you can never quit this game. You're trapped here
that's
forever.
True. That's true. Once you actually put in the dedication, you're never leaving. So it's like, but it's true. Even as a 6-digit, like if you really, you know, it's addicting, dude. Like Osu's like a drug. Like
Exactly.
you can't stop. But
Totally.
So, what is your opinion on beatmap commissions? And I'm sure many people have noticed that you do them as well. So why do you do them?
First of all, my opinion on beatmap commissions, I don't think is bad, but I don't think it's good anyways. I think like people can like pay like a lot of amount of money. I won't tell, but but I can understand them, because imagine like you have this favorite mapper and you can't map, and you don't have the motivation to map, but you want this song, your favorite song, to be mapped and by your favorite mapper. Then yeah, sure, you're gonna pay him to make that happen, and I can understand that. If you have that money, then why not? Why you won't do that? And it works the same for me. If I can take beatmap commissions, if people are willing to pay me to have these maps ranked by me, then why would I refuse? Because other than that, I need the money for my studies, because a master degree is really expensive. It's like 20k euros for the 2 years, and I need money to help me paying these studies. Exactly. And so I won't. If I don't do beatmap commissions, I'll just have like a shitty part-time job at McDonald's or whatever, and I'd rather like play circles than serve hamburgers, you know.
That's true. At the end of the day, it's you're placing circles, or you're just like putting a patty and a bun together. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't really have opinions on that, but as soon as I'm back to my studies, I won't be taking any beatmap commissions anymore. But when I was a beatmap nominator, I didn't take any beatmap commissions, because there's a rule like when you were a beatmap nominator, you can't take beatmap commissions.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take that before that rule, and then I wanted to stay beatmap nominator because I really loved that, so I stopped that. But when I wasn't BN anymore, then I took them again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the thing.
That for sure works. I mean, it's money, so how can you refuse? So, how do you deal with all of the hate from the community, from people that are like, oh, Sotarks mapping PP map sucks, or all that, and what keeps you from quitting?
Well, it's actually probably weird to say that, but a lot of people know that I like most of the hate. Like, most of the hate I get, it's not really hate. It's like a lot of frustrated people that can't stop me, or can't like make something change, or they just like complaining to complain, or what I said before, like following up people like, oh, I hate Sotarks, so I'm gonna hate him too, or oh, I'm gonna talk about Sotarks on Twitter for the Twitter likes because that's what people do now, or whatever. But I like that, who doesn't like attention?
That's true.
And who doesn't like attention? Every human being needs some kind of attention, and yeah, I know some people can't handle hate, and it's really tough like to deal with hate. But I kind of liked it. I look at it and I'm like, look how I can get these people mad, and for circles or for actual reasons, and yeah, I kind of liked it, and that keeps me motivated, because other than that, I have a lot of people that gives me love and support me, and that also keeps me motivating. And I will never quit for hate. Like, I will never quit for hate, because I never did something to actually like make people like really hate me and really wants me to quit, like actually to be the evil guy that everyone hates. It's just like people who hates me or dislike what I'm doing is less because they just dislike what I'm doing, and you can have an opinion. When you have popularity, it's you always get people that dislike what you're doing for your popularity.
Right, you're bound to have it.
So exactly. So I don't mind it. That won't make me quit, of course. I would quit for a long time ago if it was the case.
And at the end of the day, they're the ones complaining because of the way you're placing circles on a rhythm game. So
they farm them anyways.
Exactly.
Most of the people that hate. So
you check their profile and it's their top play, and it's like, okay. But yeah, that's something that's definitely I could definitely see that. But I mean, that's cool that you're able to stand it, because like you said, many people can't really stand the hate, but you actually like embrace it, So it's pretty cool. So I'm sure many of the people that have been following you in your Discord server and your Twitter know about your game Atma. So do you have a new video game project in mind after Atma, and if so, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I do like a lot of projects at school. Atma was like the biggest project I've ever worked for, and which I'm still really proud, and it was amazing to work with all these people, which are my friends. And now, like, for my master's degrees, my master degree, I will have to work on a game, but a really serious game, and I don't have any information for it yet because it's not created, but it's gonna be huge, and I hope I'm gonna succeed and do well. I'm kind of stressed for that, so yeah, in 2 years you guys can have something to test out.
So you're gonna
and
be
I hope it's
sharing
gonna
with
be
the
great.
community?
Yeah, of course. I love doing that, so I can get a lot of feedbacks and stuff.
You guys hear that? In 2 years, you gotta be looking out for it, and it's gonna be great. So
Yeah, I hope so.
I believe in you, bro. I mean, your master's degree is, top level education, so it'll definitely serve you well. So this is something that people are very curious about. How did you discover the current flaws in the PP system, and did somebody tell you about it, or was it just like a coincidence of some sort?
Well, as I said, I was watching a lot of Mostrada's things, and he was like the PP guy back in the time, and I was really analyzing all of these maps and how his attitude worked out by doing all these kind of things, and I was like, how can I do this but better? How can I improve, like, breaking the system? No, it's bad to say that, but I mean, like, how can I do something different, like not just like structured triangles and what can I have to myself,
Right, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that, honestly. I mean, and at the end of the day, that's just, yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
So that's I just watch people, and I try to, like, make it different and make it my sauce, and try and make it better.
And at the end of the day, you manage it, so that's what matters,
I hope.
So, the community has noticed you for having many mentees, but not being part of the actual mentorship program as a mentor. So, what is your criteria for people wanting to be your mentees?
The thing is, it's kind of, I don't really like the term mentee, because once they start being my mentee, and then they become good mappers, and they are still my mentees, but they're more like juniors or my family, my small family of people that have the same inspirations, and all my mentees at the moment, Reform, Only Biscuit, Smokelin, Miracle, Kiyoshi, the Random Otaku, Alexandrine, Agatsu, Iljaz, Kawari, and Maestro Splinter. All these guys, I love them, and I got them into this small family because they have the same inspirations, and they want me as well to help them to improve their mapping, not just their mapping, their modding. And I help them. And we interact a lot. We have like some private Discord channels with all of us, and we talk a lot. And it's more about a small family, yeah, rather than just mentor-mentee thing.
Right, for sure.
So, but the criteria to become one is just like it's not, you don't have to apply. It's just like most of them I discovered them myself. Like, I look at some maps that people request me, and like, oh my god, this guy is mapping like me, or I see he's like trying to map like me, or he has the same inspirations, and he can get more if I mentor him. And none of these guys asked me to be my mentee. I got them myself then. There.
You came up to them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's cool, and I mean, that's good, because that way you can actually like go through them, and you seek who you
Yeah.
can do. So.
And that's what I like. I'm kind of building my own little army,
Yeah,
I'm preparing my BAP when I quit.
Exactly. I mean, once you quit, we're just gonna have a bunch of mini Sotarks running around, and it's gonna be even better. Okay, I can just see it, like an explosive event, we're just gonna see like a bunch of like maybe like 15 Sotarks just running around. So
Oh, no.
it'll be great. But So that was basically all we had for the questions concerning your OSU career, and obviously your mapping and stuff like that. So to everybody watching this right now, what would you recommend for people getting into mapping? And whatever you recommend, how come you recommend it?
I can't say to not map. Like, mapping is great. Mapping is like turning your favorite songs into a level into your favorite game. For me, it's wonderful. If you can do that and enjoy your own creation, that's amazing. But it's really hard. It takes a lot of time and effort and motivation to get there and actually enjoy your own creation, get them ranked or getting recognized or whatever. So I would recommend you to get into mapping, but I would not recommend you if you don't have the motivation and if you think like just by doing that you're gonna be a good mapper and you're gonna rank maps and you're gonna get popularity or whatever. It's hard. You must want it and not just like, oh, maybe I'm gonna get into mapping because I want to do like 1-2 PP meme. Haha. So no, it's just like if you really love it, then sure. But you need to get motivated and don't give up because it's hard and because there's a lot of mappers out there. There's a lot of competition. There's not so much beatmap nominators to rank your maps, not so much modders to tell you feedback about your maps. So most of the time you're gonna improve by yourself. What I did. I nobody taught me anything into mapping. I was analyzing all the maps of my favorite mappers, trying to do the same, understand what they were doing, and keep on practicing to improve my mapping skills. And yeah, that's what people should do.
For sure. I mean, and that's really cool. I mean, you have to strive for it,
Fight for it.
It's it's kind of comparable to like just playing the game. Like you have to strive to want to become better at the game. It's not just gonna be like, oh, if I press 1-2, then I get PP and top 100. Like no, it's not like that, And that's kind of how it is with mapping as well. Like it's not just I play circle and slider and ranked,
Totally.
So there's definitely a lot more to it. So then, wrapping this up here, if you could, what would you say to motivate new players starting out with mapping?
Well, as I said, the most important thing to keep motivation if you start mapping is to map songs that you really enjoy, that you really get like inspiration from. Even though you're not a good mapper, that's fine. But as long as you have inspiration, you will improve. If you map stuff that you don't like, if you do, you will never get motivation and never improve. Make sure that you like whatever you're doing. Even though you're bad at it, it's fine because you're gonna improve by keep on practicing. But keep having fun, it's good.
It's important for sure. So that's basically all we had for the questions. Is there any last thoughts that you'd like to give out to the viewers?
Well, I would give a big shout out to you guys, to the beat, and you as well for interviewing me, and thank you so much for that. And I hope like I replied to like most of the questions you guys wanted, and yeah.
For sure. I mean, thanks for coming on to the show. So as you can see, everybody, that's all we had for Sotarks for now. I will be going on to the outro and doing the regular outro stuff. Well, that's all we had for today's interview. Thanks once again to Novic for editing this video, and to all of you guys for sticking through the video and watching it through to the end. I would also like to give a special thanks to Sotarks for letting us feature him today on the series. Make sure to follow all of his socials down in the description. Also, make sure to join our Discord and follow our Twitter for more updates and notifications as to whenever we release a new video. If you want to get a little bit more of an inside look on the team for our series, make sure to follow Novic and I on our social medias down below as well. That's all I have. Thanks to everyone for watching, and I wish you all a lovely day or night.